G'day folks, it's Cortezarino, and today I'm going to show you how to build my fully customizable multi-item sorter. And this item sorter is so easy to build because it is a tileable item sorter. So we're just building the same little contraption over and over, which means you can build it in any kind of shape that you like. So this is a push-based item sorter. So that means you fill up every single slot in the chest with an item, and then when you feed items in, they will attempt to enter the chest, and they'll only be able to enter if they match the items that are already in here. And I'll be quiet for a second so you can listen to this. Hear that? It is 100% silent, and we also have a funky little redstone lamp here that turns on to let you know when it's running and will turn off when it's done. And you don't need to put just one kind of item into your chest. You can fill it up with lots of different items. So I've got all of my different lights here. And underneath our sorting chests, I have another chest here that isn't linked up to the system. That's just for overflow. So if a certain item fills all the way up, you can just grab all of them, reset it to a single item, and then you can store it all away in the chest below. And you're ready to go and start sorting items again. And this here is actually the exact same design, but just on a single level. So you'd put your items in the chest there, and anything that doesn't find a spot in the system will come out to your output chest. So this is a continuation of a design by Blocky Bryson, but he's had a few problems that I didn't like. The first one is you'll hear a click. So yeah, it's completely silent other than that one click, or two clicks that time. So mine is 100% silent. You don't get any clicks at all. But another problem I didn't like about this design is once it finishes sorting the items, and we'll see it's about to finish, there we go, it actually always leaves an item in the top dropper. So you don't actually get everything that you feed into it. Whereas my one, it does give you every single item, so there aren't any left over in the droppers. And the last thing I wanted to fix is, even though mine is a tiny bit larger than Blocky Bryson's, it's actually one block shorter, which means it's much easier to stack one on top of the other so you can have your input and output chests on the same side, so it'll just go along there, then the items will flow down in this direction. Whereas if you tried to do that with the original design, you'd have a 3-block gap. So by the end of this tutorial, you will know how to build each of these individual sorting cells so you can make any shape of item sorter that you like. But for today, I'll be showing you how to build this system right here. So it'll be 7 chests across and 7 chests back. And we have the lamp that will tell us when it's running, and I'll show you how to wire all of that up. And it's quite easy to take that design, which is just this one right here, and then extend it if you want to make a full storage room. And here are all the materials you will need to build this system. And for the building blocks themselves, like the slabs and I'm using iron blocks here, you can substitute these for any other kind of block that you like. Alright, let's get started with the tutorial, and we'll begin by marking out the area that we're going to need. So if this is the floor of your storage room, you are going to need an area that is 18 blocks by 6. Okay, we're going to begin by placing 18 blocks all in a line, and this will be at the same level as the floor of your storage room. And our chests are going to sit on top of this line. So come along to the left-hand block, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then skip a block and place another 6. Now right down the bottom, we're going to place a double chest. So just come along and have it sticking out like that. Then looking from the back, we're going to place a stair on top. Then I'll do a redstone lamp, and then a block. I'm just using smooth quartz for this, but you can use any kind of block that you like. Then we're going to do another double chest, and then looking from this direction, we'll do an upside down stair. And then you can come along to the block on the right hand side, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. And then we're just going to place 7 double chests all in a line. And once you've done that, I want you to add another line of double chests on top. And when you get to the end, we're just going to place upside down stairs all the way along. And once you get to the end, we're just going to repeat what we did below. So we're doing another line of double chests. And on top of that, we will do a second layer. And when you get to the end, we're going to do our upside down stairs again. And then grab some item frames, and we're just going to place one of these on the top chest. That's because the top chest is the one that will be linked up to our item sorter, and the one below isn't linked up to anything. That's just for when your top chest fills up, you can put the extras in there. Okay, swing around to the back of the build, and we're just going to place a hopper leading into the side of our output chest. And now behind each of these double chests, we're going to build the same thing. So against the bottom one on the left-hand side, we'll do a dropper facing straight up. And then we will do a dropper facing toward our output chest. Then we're going to have a hopper facing in that direction, again pointing toward our output chest. And then a hopper leading into the chest above. So what's going to happen is an item will enter the bottom dropper, it'll go up and across, it will try to enter the chest. If it can't, it'll go down and continue. So we're just going to repeat this over and over. So we're going to have our droppers facing straight up, just against the left-hand side of that chest. Then the droppers on top will be pointing toward our output chest. Then you can grab your hoppers, and we're just going to lead them. Whoops, that was completely wrong. We're just going to lead them into the side of the dropper, and you can connect it to that hopper there. And then the hoppers on top will all lead into the chests. Okay, come along to the left-hand side, and we'll lead a hopper into that bottom dropper there. On top of that hopper, we'll do a barrel with a hopper leading straight down into it, and another barrel on top. And now we're just going to repeat this little combination of droppers and hoppers. But they're going to be facing in the other direction this time because we're putting them in there and they're going over toward that barrel. So this time we're going to put the bottom dropper against the right-hand side of the chest. So just run those all the way along. And then on top, the droppers will be facing toward our barrel. So just go ahead, put all of them in. And then for our hoppers, they are all going to be running in that direction. So we'll put 2 here, so they're going to come in our chest into that first one. And then we're just going to run all of these along until we finish at our barrel. And then the top hoppers will be leading into each of our chests. Okay, you can see our double chests there. I want you to come along to the very last chest, and just below it, we're going to place 3 slabs. And then break the first one we placed. Then come along to this end, and there's our other double chest. So just underneath our dropper, we're going to place our 3 slabs and break the first one. And then we're just going to connect these 2 lines. Now you can use solid blocks for this. This doesn't have to be slabs, but I just think the redstone looks a lot prettier if we use slabs for this. So now we're going to start building our individual modules. And for the moment, I might just break these. You leave yours in place, but I'm just going to break it so you can easily see what a single module looks like. So we've got our double chest behind these droppers and hoppers. So what we're going to do is first thing we're going to have is a comparator leading away from that bottom dropper, and that will have a repeater in front. Then in front of that repeater, we're going to put a block, and then we'll do another repeater facing in the opposite direction. And we'll have a torch here, and that torch has a block on top, and then that repeater is leading into a block, and then we'll have a torch on the front. And then look at the direction that the hopper is facing, so it's pointing in that direction. So that means right here, we're going to put a torch on this side, then we'll place some dust right there and a block. And all we're going to be doing is repeating this over and over. So I've cleaned all of that up to show you the way that you will be building it. So behind each of these droppers, just have your comparator facing away, and then place your repeaters in front, and then put blocks on the front of all of these repeaters. Then you can do repeaters on top of our blocks facing in the other direction. We will also place redstone torches on the ends here, and these torches will have blocks on top. And then you can come around to this side and place a block in front of each of these repeaters, and those blocks will have redstone torches on the front, and you'll hear your dropper click when you put it in. And then look at the direction that your bottom hoppers are facing. So ours are pointing in that direction, which means this is the side we want our redstone torch. So go ahead and place it on the sides of each of these blocks. And once you've done that, directly below our torches, we're going to place a bit of redstone dust. And then just in front of that redstone dust, we are going to place our solid blocks. So that's the bottom section all done. And for the top section, we'll begin with our slabs again. So just underneath that last double chest, we're going to place our 3 slabs, break the first one, and then come along so the other double chest finishes just below that dropper. We'll place in our 3 slabs again, break that one, and then we're just going to connect these up. So when we did the bottom section, all our items were flowing this way toward our output chest, but this time they're flowing in this direction. So everything is just going to be the mirror image, but that's still pretty easy to build. So we're going to begin the same way with our comparators coming out of the bottom of our droppers, and those will have repeaters in front. And then you can go ahead and place your block on the front of each of these repeaters. And you can put your repeaters on top of those blocks facing in the other direction. And then we will put our torches on the ends, and you can put your blocks on top of the torches. And once you've done that, go ahead and place blocks in front of each of these repeaters, and all of these blocks will have torches on the front. So now we're going to look at the bottom hopper and see which direction it's facing. So all the items are flowing in that direction. So that means we're going to have the redstone torch on this side of the block. So just go ahead and place all of those in, and directly below our torch, we are going to place some redstone dust. And just next to that dust, we're going to place our solid blocks. And this is why I used these slabs. I just think it makes the redstone look so much prettier. So this is the part where we find out in the comment section who watched the video to the end, because if you feed items into the system right now, it's not going to work. They're all going to get clogged up in the bottom dropper. That's because items will be coming in just a tiny bit too fast for our system to handle. So all we're going to do is just behind our output chest, we're going to slow down the items in that hopper. And so you only need to do that once, and you only need to do that right here. So against the slab next to that repeater, place a solid block and place another one right there. And then we're going to place one against that hopper. And then you just need 1, 2, 3 bits of dust. So that dust is taking power from this repeater into that block. So it's going to get powered from there. And it's also getting powered from that torch. And so as this system runs, it will power this block and just slow down the items. Okay, the item sorter is now fully functional. So if this is all you want to build, then feel free to start using it. But I recommend wiring up the redstone lamp to tell you when it's running, because you probably don't want to leave the area while this is running. You don't want the chunks to unload, because it could cause things to get clogged up in there. So we're going to rig up that redstone lamp now. So come along to the bottom left-hand side, and just underneath this last block, we're going to place a temporary block, a block underneath, and break that one. So you can see it's in line with that slab. And we're just going to run these all the way along until we get to the very last slab, which is right there. And on that last one, we're going to place a block on top, and then grab a comparator, face it into that block, and we're going to run dust all along here. And you'll see it's actually connecting just here to the dust on that slab. And we don't want that. So everywhere we can see the dust sort of poking up toward that slab, just place a block in there. So we're just putting blocks all the way along. And now that redstone line isn't connected. So every time one of the droppers on the bottom level here gets an item in it, this repeater is going to power the block above, and that will power our redstone line, and that's going to run up to our lamp. But we don't want our lamp flashing, so we're going to put in a pulse extender. So right here on the end, I want you to place 3 blocks. Next to that comparator, we'll do another one facing the other way, and then a bit of redstone dust on each side. Now we can run our line up. So here on the end, we're going to put a block, and we'll do a repeater facing in that direction. On the end of that repeater, we'll do a block, and then we're just going to staircase up 2 blocks like that, and then we'll put a slab on the end so we can still open our double chest. And then you just go dust, 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 and dust. Okay, that handles the signal from this bottom level, but now we have to wire up the signal from the top level, and we cannot do it in the same place. So this time we're going to be doing it just above these torches that are poking out to the side. So come along to the last torch, place a block on top, and then we're just going to run a line of blocks all the way along, and you can finish just on top of that last block there. On the end here, we'll do a comparator facing in that direction, and then you can just place dust all the way along like so. Okay, come along to the end where our comparator is. On this side, we're going to place 1, 2, 3 blocks, and we'll also place a block on the end of that comparator. Then we'll do another comparator next to that one, facing the other way, with redstone dust each side. Now come down to this block that is next to our slab. We're going to place a block next to that. Then we'll staircase up 2 more blocks, and then turn the corner and staircase up like that. Now grab some redstone dust. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to place a block just on top of that redstone dust. And then we'll place a repeater right there. And that is it. That is your sorting system, 100% complete. And if you want to turn it into a much larger system like this, like you can see this wall here is exactly what we just built, and then all I did was turn the corner and keep it going. It's really, really easy. So we've just got our line of items going all the way around, and I just keep them going around. So I turn the corner and run them into another line of these systems. And when we get all the way to the end, that's where we drop down with the barrels and we just go straight back. The only other thing you'll have to think of is putting in some repeaters when you're connecting our redstone line up the top and down the bottom. So if you wanted to make this wall double the length, the redstone signal is only going to travel 15 bits of dust. So at some point you're going to need a repeater. So all you would do is just place a repeater in there, and then you can just continue on with your dust. Just make sure not to place the repeater above our redstone torch or you won't get the signal. And the same thing goes for down the bottom. All you would need to do is just place in a repeater so your signal can continue on. Just make sure you don't have one of these redstone torches above your repeater or you won't get the signal. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.